Hello, my name is Shelley and welcome back for another episode of Thor 3 as German Empire. In previous episode, we started funding Austria in their war against Britain, decided to also rival Britain, and I think we might actually be able to do a bit more with the influence that we now have available. Is there... No, I don't suppose there's going to be initially anyone... No. No one wants to take all the embassy. Actually, I'm just going to hold on to the influence right now to let the infamy drop down a bit further. We do also have a war brewing up over here in Rwanda, which, you know, we'll just combine these areas for our colony. Clean up the borders a bit. We did also get Hurrahs and Gallia as protectorate, so now we've got technically speaking 6 subjects already. And I suppose the percentage of the global population that we have is now 7.1%, so it has slowly improved. But it is not going to be anywhere near to the 40%. I think if we wanted to get that one, we should probably be like, probably Britain, and then try to get Jing part of the market or something. Or not market, but the British Empire or something. That would probably be the easiest one. Right, wait. Oh, they're trying to land in Belgium by the looks of it. And, okay. It's having some difficulty showing that for me because I'm not part of that war or anything. But there we go. So in 5 weeks we'll get a concrete fortification, and there is the war in Rwanda brewing, or starting. German Senegal is already in default. Okay, can I take on their loans? Nope. Okay. Well, we are bankrolling them at least. So hopefully it's helping them. I mean, it's about 20,000 that they're getting from me, but I guess that might not be quite sufficient. And the first battle, we do have the numbers advantage, and we got the much better troops. And yeah, this is going to be very quick. It might be... It's only 35% from the battle, so we need 2 more battles, but those should be very quick, considering that it took about 9,000 casualties in that, out of the 10,000 manpower or so. Wait, no, yeah, it's almost 9,000 actually. So yeah, the second, no, they've still got actually a surprisingly large amount in here, but they did have some time to reinforce, I guess. But I'm also suspecting that the quality of the troops is not very high at that point then. Well, there we go. Now they're down to 3,000. And there we go. The concrete fortification should be done right about now. We do still have quite a bit of... Oh, and there we go. Armor defense. And then now we're researching the mobile armor. We can start building some tanks, and we can start utilizing that. I believe... Oh, right, there we go. We've got Rwanda, and let's go and give this to Sanji. And there we go. That's a little bit cleaner borders. They're still Ankole. But if we do declare war on them, that's probably going to pull in the French, and that's going to be a bit infamy heavy if we want to take anything from them. Unless we... No, that would probably be too much. How large is the army, actually? Oh, what's the New Guinea? Found some more oil in there. They've got a decent-sized army, yeah. They've got also a decent fleet, but it's probably not quite as good as what we have. But what I'm kind of thinking is I could try to take over some of their vassals without having to take too much infamy that way. It might not be terrible. I do actually wonder, is Dahomey there? Actually, yeah, if we can get Dahomey as one of the subjects, they do have our embassy still. There's still a protectorate. I do actually wonder, so how are our protectorates doing? Are they still getting, yeah, they're still getting a little bit more liver desire. Warsagal is actually losing it a little bit. Tripolitania is getting it a little bit further. I suppose Infamy is still having quite an impact. So if we let that drift downwards, like try to get that below 75, that might be enough to... Oh. Right, Isaki is having a revolt over there. Is there still a war with... Oh yeah, there's still a civil war going on down here. Ooh, rubber discovered in Congo. Well, there's a lot of things being discovered in our empire in the meanwhile. Oh, right. We don't owe the obligation to Greece anymore. I was like, hold on a minute, I didn't realize that I already got an obligation from them. But no, I don't think that's the case. I could double check though, but I don't think... No, they don't owe an obligation to me as far as I can tell. Nope. We'll keep on bankrolling them. Oh, did Austria actually... Oh no, Moltke has died. Oh dear, well that was a good general. Let's get something new. Ooh, offensive planner. That shell shock might not be a great idea, though. Ooh, we got Gunther Ludendorff. Direct supply requisitions expert. Sure, we'll give him a promotion as well. Now, is there anything that we need desperately in import? I mean, I suppose oil is. Telephones, there's probably no one selling that. Fine art, there's a little bit... maybe we'll buy some from the Austrians, actually. Try to get some good relations going on with them. We might also need a bit of steel by the looks of it. I mean, I suppose we are using a whole lot of it with the war machine industries. So actually, no, we're not using steel directly. We're using it indirectly through the engines, I suppose. So, other than the oil, it's not actually that bad. But yeah, oil is pretty bad. I mean, we've got also quite a bit of airplanes right now, which... Actually, I suppose once we get the mobile armor, we can start producing the tanks, so we'll start using that in the military production, or the armies as well, then allowing us to switch the troops. Let me actually have a look at the... Let's say, for example, the first army. So, it's the light tanks that we'll be unlocking with that. We do not have... Oh, right, it's the heavy tanks as well. Oh. Oh. Alright, then. We might upgrade both, and then I believe that's also mechanized infantry that we can get. Yeah, so we'll need a whole lot of tanks then, I guess. But we shall produce plenty. And I kind of want to see how bad... Well, I suppose the lack of oil is going to be a bit of apparent at that point. I wonder if we could get Persia into our market. That would probably give us a whole lot of sort of base to work with. Actually, let's see. We do have a decent bit of leverage, but we don't have the biggest leverage in here. They do not want an alliance quite yet. We could form a defensive pact with them, maybe. We'd have to give it the obligation, or we'll just fund them a little bit. That's going to give it 200 leverage generation, so that should get us into positive at least. I think we need to have like plus 200 though, so that might not be quite sufficient. But the idea is that we'll just try to get them into our embassy, or not embassy, the power block. And then that way we get the oil from Persia, which I suspect they probably... Actually, they got their own market. How much oil do they have in there, if any? None thus far. I don't know if they've actually reached us the oil then. Where was it? I think up here somewhere there would be oil at least. And of course down here I think we had... Okay, they do have 19 oil rigs at the Hormuz node at least, but that's probably because Oman discovered it. Oh, they got... Right, so that's the same state over there. They haven't taken Arabistan either. But yeah, so if we can get them into the power block and maybe support them to expand a little bit, that might be a good idea. We're still getting a lot of money. We've got over 105 million already in cash reserves. There's 121 million investment pools. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and increase the construction speed then. So Westphalia is already full. I'm just going to go out and get 15 in Ruhr. 20 in Northern Rhine. Get another 3 in Lorraine and 1 in Rhineland. Actually, 6 in Rhineland. I'm going to go ahead and get all of these to the top of the list. That's bound to have a bit of an impact on the construction speed. Probably going to be like 2,200 probably after all of those. Or somewhere thereabouts, I reckon. Considering that we've got 120 million in the investment pool, I think it's a high time that we increase the construction speed even further. Big problem is that we're starting to definitely have a bit of issues with the availability of workforce. But actually for that, let me go ahead and switch the... I don't suppose there's a lot of stuff that we can do to save the workforce needed. I'm trying to get the assembly lines, I guess. And tooling workshops, we can try to do that as well. I think we've got power in all states now, so I suppose that's a little bit helpful. I'm going to go ahead and produce even more tools. The furniture manufacturers will get assembly lines there. And also, we can put in the precision tools, I guess. We do need a lot more luxury furniture these days, compared to what we need the regular furniture, I suppose. I'm not going to change the... all the textile mills that produce luxury clothing. I think we still need a lot of the other stuff as well. And we're also going to change that. But then if we go down to the livestock farms, or livestock ranches, we can probably go with the electric fences in a lot of places. As well as the refrigerated rail cars. With the coal mines, we can probably just put in the steam donkeys. With all the mines. Just to reduce the worker need. And then I guess we'll try to get the rail transportation on everywhere that we can. That should free up a decent bit. And I suppose there's also the... So if the motor carriages, that would be... Now, I would require a whole lot of automobiles, to be fair. That would free up a decent bit of engines, mind you. Maybe the electric street lights would reduce the need for coal quite a bit, making that a lot cheaper. That's making the steel production a lot cheaper. I'm gonna get the arcades. We'll get the log transportation, chainsaws, although that might not be profitable everywhere. We're gonna keep a bit of hardwood production, probably not too much. And the logging camp, I suppose, well, I can't switch to the electric sawmills. In everywhere, I think there's like a 1 or 2 places that we have those where we can't switch. Which is a bit unfortunate, but not much I can do about that. Now, let's see, is that gonna have an impact on the... Well, it did have a bit of an impact on the GDP for sure. We went down by like 30 million at least, probably 40. Industrial boom in Brandenburg, sure, we'll get a bit of boost there. Yeah, there's a bit of a drop in there, but I suspect that it will start improving quite a bit soon enough. And we're also still building a whole lot of the... Well, we're currently losing a bit of money. I'm not too worried about that, though. We are still making a whole lot of the construction sectors, which is bound to start increasing the construction speed quite drastically in the next few weeks. It's already well over 2,000. We could probably get that to like close to 3,000 almost. Just build up as much construction sectors everywhere as possible. But the problem is that the workforce is a little bit on the short supply, let's be fair. We do have 23.2 standard of living, though. But the problem is that since we do not have the open borders, we can't really get too much immigration. I mean, we'll probably get a little bit, but it's somewhat limited to kind of the neighboring areas and all that. We're down to 120,000 radicals at this point. We've got almost 44 million loyalists. So that's getting pretty insane. Right, Austria is no longer in the war, are they? No, they're not. How's the relations? I mean, they are now cautious towards me. I wonder if I could get them as an ally. Not yet. Now, what about Persia? Have we got anything in there? Ooh. So I could give them an obligation to get a trade agreement or something, or defensive pact for that matter. But I'm actually going to hold off on that one for the time being. Ooh, Warzengali attitude is improving. Aloof? Alright then. So they're a bit more neutral. Which might mean... Oh, Tripolitania's liberty desire is still increasing. Oh, and... Ah, right, Oyo is having a revolt. Warzengali, they are losing a little bit of liberty desire there. Again, if we can reduce the infamy a decent bit, well, a little bit further, I suspect that things are going to get a little bit better with the subject. So I think it's probably best for us to not declare too many wars right now. There's still Angola, of course, over here that I wouldn't mind conquering, but I think we can go without it for the time being. We're going to be getting a bit more war machine industries shortly. And then we did... Oh, right, so we've got almost 2,500 construction speed, actually. That's a pretty respectable number, I would say. 13 more months for the mobile armor, so I guess in around mid-1926 is when we'll start producing tanks. And then we can switch basically to more or less full-on mechanized army. Which I reckon might actually do fairly well against the French. I mean, I suspect that that's going to be still... You know what? I suppose we've got time to check that. So the squad infantry's got... Well, I suppose actually we can just have a look over here. So that's 40 and 50 offensive defense. It's 50 and 60. So it's 10 increase in both. Morales is reduced even further. It does increase the devastation. Of course, the goods needed is changing a bit. Need a lot more oil, for example. Then for the heavy tanks, that's going to be increase of 15 offense and 5 defense. And the kill rate is, well, actually the kill rate is going to be the same. Morale damage is improved drastically though. Ah, right, so the heavy tanks do reduce the speed of the unit. And then with the light tanks, that is an increase of 15 offense and 25 defense. Oh my goodness, that is quite a difference. Well, there we go, that sounds like a good idea. Oh, Secession of La Plata. Oh, a Pecha Uprising. Oh, right, against Chile. Oh, but John left is... Okay, alright then. I don't suppose I can do much with them. Do I even have a... interest in here? Oh, no, I do. I'd actually put one in the Andes and one in Central America. Maybe we'll put in one more in... Maybe we'll put it in Occitania, just for the heck of it. Not that we necessarily want to go down there and, you know, conquering anything. I don't think we'll have the capacity to really conquer much more. I think what we probably should have done is at some point to try to get one of the other European nations as a protectorate and then just slowly turn them into a puppet and all that. Or maybe even try to turn the puppets immediately and then annex them if we wanted to get more land, because it's... infantry management is quite important. Like, while our army is strong, I don't know if I want to fight against all the nations surrounding me, because that's an entirely possible thing to happen. Go and improve relations with the Swedes. They are trying to reduce the relations further, but with the embassy, we are actually increasing the relations slowly. I could probably just bankroll them as well. They've been having some problems, sure. Let's give them a bit of a hand. So now we're losing £60,000 per week. Although the actual drop in money is not that. Oh my, the investment pool is 137 million now. Oh boy. Well, I guess that's fine. Oh, Kachin owns us a obligation. Oh, I think what's happening is they're trying to get away from traditionalism. And thus we suddenly have an obligation from them. Oh, is this one? This is an empty army, so we can go ahead and disband that one. Any good import routes for oil? Ooh, Austrian market. Okay, sure. Well, oh, right, they got areas over here in Arabia, and of course they probably have a little bit of oil over here as well. But there we go. Starting to do a bit of a high volume trade, hopefully, with the Austrians. That'll probably help them, you know, turn a bit more amicable towards us. They're still very cautious, but the attitude score is now positive, at least. So there is that. It could definitely be worse. Oh, and we've got a decision. Survey the Panama Isthmus. Oh. Wait, so no one's actually built the Panama Canal? Oh, alright then. Sure. I guess someone's going to have to do it. If the Americans don't want to do that, then I shall. Well, I suppose historically it was the French that started it, wasn't it? Alright, 9 months for the mobile armor. That will be done soon enough. Eventually, I suppose is more accurate. Standard of living is, I think it's slowly slowing down. It's 23.4 at this point. Which, mind you, oh, it's probably the floods over here that is having the impact. The infamy is still pretty high. Oh, Britain's having another revolt in the Baltics. How is the Papal States looking like? How's the GDP? It's less than 5 million. They are still on their own market. We do have an alliance with them. They got an embassy. I could offer them military assistance. Let me actually double check. Is there someone that I could invite? No. Unfortunately not. Papal States we do have a little bit of leverage with, but there's so many nations that have leverage with them that it's really difficult to get the sort of advantage in there. There's a load of other nations that we can't invite yet either. Disrespecting our maps. Spain appears to be disregarding our claim on colonial process in Spanish South Cameroon. If given a stern enough reminder, they may be convinced to cede it to us. It's going to be a lot of infamy. Oh dear, that's going to get us over 100. You know what, I'm going to let go of that claim. For now. Maybe that will actually get our relations slightly better with them. The Spanish, that is. I mean, they are a little bit hostile towards us. And very much antagonistic. So I know that I'm going to try to reduce infamy, but if I was to go... Oh, right, Austria, French Empire, and Occitania would all support. Oh, and what's this then? We've got a... Oh, Tripolitania is having another revolt. Alright then, let's go and send in the army down here. Into the front line. How's our relation with Egypt? Do we still have good relations with them? They are friendly. They do not want to take an embassy in there. I could maybe bankroll them, but that would be another 40,000 that would be paying off. On the other hand, how is the... Hold on a minute. No, leverage is not quite good enough. There's so many nations that have leverage with them. I think bankrolling might actually be the way to go. Now, we're spending a whole lot of money on bankrolling things. We're spending about 240,000 per week on diplomatic pacts. Of course, if we're starting to run low on money, we're going to stop the government construction and let the private sector pay for everything. And we'll be totally fine. Oh, looks like Liberia's having a bit of revolt over there. Now, how's... so China is... Oh, right, Korea is part of the British market. Oh. Japan is having a bit of a... Is that a revolt? Yeah, it's definitely a revolt. Reactionary revolt. And looks like the reactionary revolt is actually winning. Like, they've got a bit of the area up here that has been occupied, but they've occupied quite a good chunk of Japan already. And seem to be pushing out, like, there's still, like, the area near Tokyo, as well as Hokkaido, and of course, Sakhalin, that hasn't been conquered yet by the revolt. But beyond that, they're not doing too strong. Now, how is the leverage? Oh, we actually got a positive leverage with Persia. They would not take the embassy. Oh, wait, no, there is an embassy already. Never mind. But they still wouldn't take that. Actually, with the defensive pact, that would give us a bit more leverage. I'll take it. We'd have to give it... Oh, no, I can't do that because... do we... We already owe an obligation to them. Yeah, we do. Well, at least we got a decent relations with them. It can actually go all the way to 100, I believe. And... They do decide me as a potential ally, so there's that. Do they have an alliance already then? No, they do not. Unfortunately, I do not have the points to do that one. Am I still... Who am I rival to? France, Occitania, Belgium, Britain. I suppose that makes sense. We could always rival someone like USA as well. Get more influence, and then there is a potential for us to form an alliance. Okay, they do not want the alliance yet with us. Then we'll at least have the points, and that also gives a bit more infamy reduction. Oh, and there's the revolt. That should be dealt with fairly quickly. Oh, that was one of the fastest civil wars that I've seen. At least wars that did at least fire. But, well, there were maybe a few shots were fired in that one, but not too many, for sure. Standard living is taking a bit of a hit, though. I suppose part of that might be because we are... well, there's still the flooding in here. Is this still going? Now, torrential rains. At least 4 months ago. Okay, well, that is unfortunate. So I'm sure that that's probably has a bit of an impact. Of course, the thing that we're building so much more buildings, there's not enough necessarily people to run all the industries anymore. Because our population, while it is growing, it's over 68 million already. And we're getting some various things built in here, like Glax Works in Schleswig-Holstein, actually. I suppose what I could do currently, since we are losing a decent bit of money, I can put in the porcelain tax back on to not lose money quite as quickly. Not that we have really lost money. Got 150 million almost in the investment pool. But we're getting to the point where we just don't have enough people to increase the construction speed even further. And I don't think there's still any sort of support for the migration control. Yeah, not really. Going for that one would radicalize some groups. But that's about it. We do, of course, no, we'll probably stick to the commercialized agriculture. Now, what are we actually getting into in research? So we're currently researching mobile armor. After that, we'll get the arc welding. We could maybe get something in the society like the... Actually, I don't... Small minting, government dividends efficiency, mass surveillance, that would be more taxation. Antibiotics, that's not necessarily a terrible idea. There's also the mass propaganda. Maybe we'll get that one. Although that's probably going to be completed before... Oh, wait, no. We got that from event, didn't we? Ah, right. It's going to be unlocking the no-no party. But at the same time, giving the extra authority is going to be still quite handy. And then we might go for the antibiotics, just for the heck of it. There's also the behaviorism, which is kind of useful. And the analytical philosophy, which that's probably going to be spreading before we even get to that. And that is going to allow us to get even more innovation through the universities. Although I don't think that's really going to make much of a difference. Now, one thing that I could, in theory, do is start reducing the amount of universities a little bit to keep the innovation somewhat... stable. I do actually wonder, is there more institutions that we can increase? Other than colonial affairs, which we don't actually need anymore, I'm going to reduce that down to level 1. It's going to give us a bit more bureaucracy back. We could increase the law enforcement to level 5, I guess. Turmoil is not going to be quite big of a problem, and less radicals from political movements. Not that the radicals are really that big of a problem right now anyway. We are losing quite a bit of standard of living, though. So I'm getting somewhat worried. Like, the amount of loyalists is dropping. The radical numbers aren't really increasing that much yet. I suspect that might just be the matter of time before things start going badly there. We are still definitely the number 1 in terms of the standard of living, although the difference between us and Navarra is now only 2.2 points. Ooh, all discovered in Ivory Coast, very handy. Is that, that's probably already quite, well, we'll go ahead and build that one for them. That's going to give us a bit more oil into the market. Now, how are relations with the colonies? So Niger is quite loyal. The Liberty Society is very low. East Africa is somewhere in the middle. Congo is drifting downwards. Ooh, there's the mobile armor. We're going to switch to that in a moment. Right, German Senegal, that they are actually now finally losing Liberty Desire by quite a bit, actually. I suppose the friendly relations and all that is definitely helping. They are having some support independence. Who is actually giving the support independence? Ah, the Dutch. Of course, it's the Dutch. Right, so let's go ahead and switch to the. Or switch on the tank production, shall we? Oh, and we can also get the mobile warfare tactics. There we go. Also get the millet farms running some harvesting or tractors in there. I don't know how much of these actually we can control, mind you, but maybe a little bit. And the war machine, so we can get the tank production on, which does reduce the plane production a little bit. How's the... So it's 50 per... Oh, okay, so it's going to be equal numbers then, I guess. Yeah, 40 and 40 per level. And now let's go ahead and switch... Honestly, actually what we can do is just upgrade all units. It's going to be probably a bit expensive. Have a look at, for example, the first army. So it's going to be mechanized infantry, heavy tanks, and light tanks. Although right now it's mostly... Well, it's a bit of mechanized infantry. He will eventually get the other stuff sorted out as well. But let's say that this is probably going to be quite substantial cost for our upkeep there. Of course, we are getting a whole lot of oil rigs built in the various colonies right now, which is probably going to fix some of the issues. Well, not really fix, it's alleviate some of the issues. Oh, well, there we go. Now the GDP is increasing again. We did have a bit of a drop there, of course, but it is not going to be too bad for much longer, I reckon. Oh, aircraft carrier is spreading. All right, then. Oh, Rising Galley attitude worsened. They're defiant. Oh, no. Oh, they got a bit of a... Oh, right, they did actually manage to win the Civil War, finally. Took them a while. Did they actually manage to get a... Oh, yeah, they did recruit a bit of troops there. It's not much of a unit, necessarily. What did they actually have in there? It is skirmish infantry, at least, so I guess it could be worse. It could definitely be worse. But yeah, if they don't really like me... They are still losing Liberty Desire, so I guess it's not going to be too bad. I'm still supporting them. Is there anyone else that I could maybe take on debt or anything like that? Or request embassy? Let's have a look at the embassy first. No, there's no one for that. Then take on the debt. Let's see, is there... I don't think there's anyone over here. Oh, no. Right, Warzangali, you know what? Let's go and take on your loan. Oh, and Panama survey completed. The Warzangali, I'm just going to go and... Well, you haven't actually accepted the thing. There we go. I'm going to absolve your obligation. To improve your relations even further, so you're definitely friendly at this point. And Panama Isthmus surveyed. We will make a suitable offer. Yeah. We'll do that. And then we've got a... It's a journal entry, right? Oh, actually, is that a decision? They don't really like me too much. Oh, and... Diplomatic mission to Varzagali, sure. I'm going to go and improve relations with Colombia a little bit. I remember I had some problems with the Suez Canal, didn't I? But I don't remember how I did that. It's been quite a few weeks since we got all that started. Oh, there we go. Oh, they're damaging the relations. Well, bugger. That's no good. Let's see, Panama, we could conquer the state, but I don't think we need to do that one. I don't think we can get a... No. Ah, right, we need to get better relations with Colombia, that's all. I remember now. I'm going to start bankrolling them. That's going to improve relations with them. So it needs to be relations of 20 or higher, and then we can give them the offer. Which right now they don't really like me. They might actually just expel my diplomats if they are really upset. But I do see that we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, also got the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.